All right, guys, we're gonna go over how to check a paint job, an interior paint job. We're gonna have the list read and point those items out, and we're trying to go fast.
First item, throw away strike plates, outlet covers, door stoppers, light switches.
So in a lot of cases, you see there's no faceplate on this. That's because they've been thrown away. You'll go in each room, each closet, each place. As you can see, that's all been taken care of. If most of the time these are getting replaced, so they don't have to paint that, but we do want that off so you get all this painted the same color.
Tape over switches, outlets, door hinges, and fixtures.
Okay. Yep, for the most part, that's all been done around here.
Strip off the old paint from the fireplace mantle.
Yep, so sometimes if you're doing a remodel, there'll be some junk on stuff, such as on here. You can see it, it's pretty smooth. And that's because they sanded this down and put the primer on. But sometimes stuff needs to be cleaned up really, really good.
Use wood putty where needed to fill nail holes, cracks, and any openings.
So as you can see here, this wall had a bunch of holes in it where the frames were. So all the walls should look flat whenever you do a paint job.
Caulk the baseboard, cord around, door trim, window trims.
All right, all this right here, as you can see, this looks like one piece. That's how you want this to look. It's all going to be smooth, one piece. This has all been caulked, and you're going to walk all around the house, all around the doors, and make sure all of that is very, very neat looking. It should all look brand new. Now, something like this looks terrible. I don't know what happened here, but all of that needs caulk in it and to be redone. You got to be very specific and very picky when you're doing this. Now, you're picky, but you're also, you mentioned all of this with the checklist. And so stuff like that, you gotta look for and get corrected. Like that space right there, we don't want to see any of that.
Ceiling painted, walls painted, trim painted.
Okay, so this is just, everybody knows what's getting painted. Look at this ceiling, it looks really good. It's bright white with it's a flat bright white, but there's no holes in it. It looks smooth. It looks like one brand new piece. This house is built in the 70s, but it looks new because of the paint.
Quarter round painted.
Okay, so we've always got to get this quarter round painted during the initial paint. I like it to look a little better than this, but you can tell they've put the main coat already on this. Whenever it gets stapled in, nailed in with the finish nails, it's going to get another coat of paint on it. But because we painted it now, it's going to be a whole lot less work whenever it's caulked and painted after the floors go in.
Doors painted, cabinets painted.
Okay. So your doors, they were in the living room when they got painted, but you can see we always want every bit of hardware off of these doors. Some customers, they want the outside to be one color, like an exterior door, and the inside to be another color. Take that into consideration. But these doors are painted in white. You can see that's all been painted. It should have like a semi-gloss color to it. But that's what it's supposed to look like.
The mortar fill-in for the fireplace.
Okay, sometimes you get special jobs like this right here. But this needs to be, there's a lot of dust in the air in here. But this is all gonna get painted black. But that's, sometimes there's special jobs, you gotta make sure those were done. Stuff like this, that needs to be cleaned up and painted off. This right here, I never want to see this on any job sites. It looks terrible. You can't just put tape around this and paint the door. All of this needs to be off of there. With an exterior door, the painters, whenever they first show up to the job site, they should take the exterior doors off and paint them. About 3 hours later, the doors will be dry. They can reinstall them. That's all you have to do. So if you see stuff like this, you need to go tell the painter to take that tape off, take the door handle off, undo the hinges, take the door all the way off. Because see, now we got to buy these hinges again. You know, there's 20 bucks in hinges because they got painted. Keep going. I'm gonna open this door a little more pressure.
Use appropriate cleaning solutions to clean the fireplace and
Okay.
any other
No,
areas.
obviously they haven't got to this yet, but you know, we can't. If I sold you a new house or you were buying a new house, you wouldn't want to see this type of mess on your brand new $5,000, $10,000, $6,000, $12,000 fireplace. So that's why it's written on the checklist, and this was mentioned in the beginning that all this needs to be cleaned off. Because it's right here. The painters themselves, they didn't actually do that. They are known to do similar stuff, so I know they know how to clean it up. That's why I assigned it to them. But yes, all this stuff will need to be cleaned up till it looks red like that. And there'll be several things in many projects, but never leave a mess on a job site.
All trash being dumped out and materials put in the carport.
So we like to leave a trash can, a 96-gallon trash can. That's the biggest one, yeah. But we let them use this one. And we provide them liners in 96-gallon bags. As you can see, this one's still full. They're still working over here. But that needs to be empty before they leave the job site because it takes 2 people to empty that big trash can. And then they put the trash in there. When that dumpster, whenever it's all full, look over the top, make sure it's all full. But that really needs to be dumped and a new one ordered. So that dumpster is about full. Here's another good example of your wood putty. But you see like these gaps right here? You got to use wood putty. Wood putty is hard. Caulk is soft. All that needs to be wood puttied in. These holes, they look terrible. They need to have wood putty, and then they need to be sanded over. Really, these nails should be embedded deeper in. The framer didn't think about that, but they should be in deeper. But all of this, that all needs wood putty, hard wood putty. And because I want this to look like one piece. Whenever this stuff gets installed, people should look at it and think we bought one huge 15, this is a 13-footer. So one 13-foot piece. I want them to wonder, how did they do that? It should look like one piece. What's next?
Just leftover material and cleaning after work site.
That looks awful. Guys, this kind of stuff, like, I don't know what this is. It's visible from the road. It attracts burglars. This stuff, it should be, this door jamb should be in the closet. This stuff is too small. We can't use it. It should be in the dumpster. Those blinds, we can't use it. Now this is pretty much a specialty piece. It's a breaker panel cover. That one can be reused. It should be reinstalled if you can't get it back on. Put it in the carport, but get it out of sight. You can see all that from the road. And next thing you know, we got a graffitied house. So we don't need that. But for the most part though, they did clean this house decently. I like it a little bit on here. Like all these paint buckets should be over at that corner. They did that for the most part, but it could be better. All these buckets could be over there. So something to keep in mind. Whenever we did show up, this was on the front door, and that kind of advertises that nobody lives in this house. So we took it off the front door and we moved it on the back. Make sure none of the contractors are moving the light box. Also with the thermostat, if the customer gets a $600 bill in utilities, I'm gonna hear about it. You're gonna hear about it. And you know, then we gotta work harder to get the next customer. So you see this temperature here, 65. We don't need the caulk to bust either. They got a brand new house. The caulk is important. If the temperatures get, really if they get outside of 65 to 75 degrees, too hot or too cold, the expansion and contraction, it'll take this caulk right here and it'll leave ugly little lines in there. Nobody wants to see that. Right? Like this is you see right here, it did pretty good. You can kind of see these dimples. If you zoom in, those were really supposed to have wood putty in them. I don't know how that got missed. Looks like they might have got wood putty in there, but it missed that spot. It doesn't look good. So, those are the details that everybody, like when you buy a house, I want these houses to go in magazines. They need to look really, really good. So get that stuff and preferably get it while the painter is here working, so it's an easy job for them to do. You also need to be checking in here. This is getting replaced. It looks like it came from an old house. I don't know if I'll be able to open this or not, but you see this air filter? It's 20 by 20 by 1, that's the size of it. It needs to be replaced, especially during your sheetrock and your paint. That really needs to be getting changed. Probably, if they're moving, they should be about once a week. You don't need a brand new brand new air conditioner with a bunch of sheetrock dust or paint. I mean, it's making me cough in here, so it's pretty thick. But it's 20 degrees outside right now. Do we have anything else on the list? Okay, so guys, just you should always have this in your car. There should be one on the job site, and there should be one with the contractor. And the contractor, he needs to be signing off on this stuff. I want his initials right there, or her initials. I don't care who it is. One thing we did find, I may have already mentioned that, but these door stoppers, we don't do door stoppers on new construction now. They get in the way, you hit them with the broom, but that's got to be taken off, sanded, and repainted right there. Nowadays we do a circular piece right where the door handle hits. It takes up a whole lot less space. And this project is started on 12/8, so we got to keep these guys moving. If they say 2 weeks, we need to keep an eye on them. You want to check all your paints while you're here, while they're painting. Go over there and look, 7005 SW. We're gonna see if we can find that. Right here's an example, okay? So this paint, it is SW, Sherwin-Williams, 7044 Amazing Gray. That's exactly what the customer called for. There's a dot of it there. There's a QR code. You can scan that with your phone and let you know how to do it. Yep, so whenever you do have an issue, you want to circle the number or put a star by the item and then send a picture of that to your painter. If you don't do it this way, he's going to ask for more money. That's not what's supposed to happen. He agreed to this. You explained it well. You were clear. He said he didn't have any questions. So anyway, that's how this stuff works. And you'll just stick to this checklist as closely as you can, and everybody will be on the same page. But overall, this house, it looks okay. I would expect it to look a little bit better than this, but we're gonna work with what we got, and we're gonna get these corrections made, and then they're gonna do the outside. But they're not completely done here. This is about 80% done, but we needed to make a video so people can get trained on it. But that's all we've got, and if you've got questions, you know who to ask.